Before we start, I'd love for you to just tell me a little bit about the gym. Tell me about the community. The quick and dirty.
Sure.
How you guys got started and what it looks like now.
We got started in 2011. We'd started a different gym, a different CrossFit gym that doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
And we went out alone, just two of us, and we set up. We started with very little, like five girls bars and five guys bars, a couple of squat racks, and it just kind of built from there.
And so, what does it look like now? I mean, what is membership? Because we're obviously having this call
Oh,
because you've got a standing participation in the Open. But how many members total, and what does it look like?
so it's totally different now. Like when we started, we didn't even have rowing machines. We've got like a second facility next door. We've got two giant rigs. Got loads of specialist strongman stuff, loads of specialist powerlifting stuff.
And what about people?
Last
Like
count,
people in community wise, like what's that look like?
well, we when we opened up, I think we had 12 people, and then within the first month we had 42,
Wow.
and now I think we have closer to 400.
Close to 400 people. Okay, and I don't know much about Glasgow, but tell me, it's a large city.
Yeah, it's a big city for Scotland,
Yeah.
but we don't have a huge population, which is kind of like the open numbers are surprising. You would expect somewhere in London to have the biggest gym or Manchester.
Yeah. But you
Yeah, but
guys, I was gonna say there's a statistic that you're pretty proud of in terms of the Open. So tell me that.
yeah, massively. It's a huge part of what we do every year. I think the first year it started off because you could see the rankings, like where how many athletes you had registered compared to other gyms. So we were like, we could be the biggest in the UK, and then we can be the biggest in Northern Europe, and then we were pushing for like top 10 worldwide, and it was easy to track,
Yeah.
just to be able to see that metric. So after the first year, it became easier to get the community involved, and it just kind of snowballed from there.
Okay. Well, I know this is kind of reverse order than what I had sent you in advance of this, but let's start with that first year, and then we'll get to how you promote it present day. But that first year wasn't as easy as it is now. So tell me how you what were the difficulties back then getting people to sign up?
I guess it would be the same difficulties that we face now. People think, oh, it's competition, so it's like I have to be good.
Right.
But we just contextualized it differently for them and just said, you know, it's a test of your fitness, not a test of, the fittest in the world. That's where it goes ultimately, but for the individual, it's a snapshot of where they are at any given time. So
So
back
yeah,
then,
and then
it was
that
harder.
it was harder, and so, but even that year you said you got 79 people signed up, and that's jumped
Yeah,
to, let me look, 257 people that you had
yeah.
registered last year. How do you go about promoting it? How do you promote it to your members now?
So a lot of our members, like the bulk of our members tend to be long-standing members, so a lot of them will remember that first year. So for many, it's what we do, so they'll sign up. The newer people, they are easier for us to convince because so many of our members will just say, like it's like an amazing experience. You should definitely be doing it. And other than that, it's experience. Like we've had so many years now. We've encountered just about every single argument against taking part in the Open
Yeah.
that we can kind of anticipate and say, Rich Froning won't care what you get. Like my mom's doing it, so you don't have to be embarrassed. It's
Right.
it's not about your position necessarily.
Yeah, well, and I like what you said in your email also about leading by example. And my favorite quote is that you and your other coaches have submitted impressively mediocre scores for the last 8 years, but that's not
That's
what it's
it.
about.
Yeah. I mean, it's competitive for us. Like, myself and my business partner Ian, like we compete against each other, and it's funny to see how we've developed over the years, and who's maybe paid too much attention to one domain or another, or someone who's followed no domains. So
Right. And then you said as the time draws near, you actually use these stats of impressive signups, and you even use, in your words, not mine, emotional blackmail.
yeah, definitely. Like before every workout, we'll stand at the board and say, we're coming up to that time of year. Uh, it's really important to us. It's a huge part of our history. Like Scotland's a little place, and you could be part of that history. Um, but like beyond that, it's you have this snapshot of history of your fitness, and you can track it year on year. Like I remember doing my first muscle up around about the Open, and of course you go into the Open thinking, yeah, I can do like 30 now.
Totally.
But yeah, it's real good. Just I think it's such a large part of our culture. We talk about it all year long. We follow a lot of main site programming, main site programs, open workouts as retests. So there's just no mystery.
Yeah.
And
And
I think that can be off-putting.
yeah, well, let me ask you this: why? What do you stand to gain from it? Why do you love to have your gym participating in the Open? What does it benefit you? Because it's not like you're getting payouts. It's not like you're not necessarily benefiting financially. What's in it for you?
Um, I think initially, like we had done the Open ourselves in the other CrossFit gym that we've been to, and we just had a really good time doing it. And it was cool to see how you stack up in relation to the other athletes in the country, in the region, and ultimately worldwide. And like back then, we were watching Miko Salo. He won the CrossFit Games in '09, doing single double, single double, single double. So at that time, it was kind of aspirational because you thought, well, if I just bust my ass, I can get there. Um, but after that, it became we wanted to let everybody else from the community kind of feel that excitement. And then with the number thing, it was, well, how far can we push it?
Yeah.
And it's really rewarding, especially, like I say, as a small town, effectively. I mean, compared to like NYC, they've got thousands of members, and we just get the whole community involved.
Yeah.
To be able to see ourselves on main site and be represented, it's awesome. Like it's really touching to see your community get behind you, so that all of our efforts are then rewarded with that kind of nod from HQ.
Good. And also in your email you had put something about it was kind of mixed in with a question that I asked about what are the benefits of competition, but I imagine that's part of the payout as well is seeing people do, like you mentioned your first muscle up, but I can imagine with 257 people in the Open, you probably saw a lot of PRs or PBs.
Yeah. I mean, like in our gym's a railway arch. So when you've got
Oh, cool.
60, 70 people watching you do burpees, there's pressure. And this is loud, and it's just a great feel. Like people bring cake and alcohol and kids, and it's a really fun time of year. So the effects of the Open are longer lasting, and everyone kind of gets swept up on this wave of excitement for months after it. People are still, I was so close to getting a bar muscle up, and they'll work at it for weeks and weeks. And yeah, it's really far reaching. People don't understand.
Yeah. I think you also just wrote the short bio for Scotland when you said we've got cakes, alcohol, and kids.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
that's it.
that's the best, the basics. Let's talk logistics. I asked you about, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on incorporating the Open into your regular programming. How do you overcome that hurdle?
Uh, it's it can be difficult, and certainly it helps that we're quite an established gym. Like we've been going. This will be our 7th year as an affiliate. So we've had a lot of time to buy the kit that we require for the Open, which I think would be off-putting to other gyms. And last year, I saw a lot of people upset online with the dumbbell announcement.
Yeah.
But because we're an established gym and we know the numbers that we're going to get for the Open, we said, well, what's likely to come up and what do we buy? And we just got it. So logistically, it's much better to be prepared. We've got it pretty down now. Like we turn up at 4:30 in the morning, we get it laid out, we get stuff printed, the board's all set up.
So be organized. Be organized and be on top of it. That's the takeaway.
Yeah. That's the real key. If you can organize ahead of time, especially if you can get other people to help you. We've got a great community. Lots of them do the judges course. Not that you have to, but they do anyway because they like it.
Yeah, that's a good learning tool too.
Yeah. Being organized is the most important thing.
Cool.
Logistically, we've got space, and it helps to run heats.
Okay, and I asked for advice to first-time affiliate owners who might be running the Open. You kind of covered two of them already. Be organized, know the standards and be prepared. I'd love for you as a parting thought to talk about one other one that I hadn't thought of yet, where you said, be cool.
Yeah, definitely be cool. Like, if you're touting it as a fun event, it has to be fun. And stuff will go wrong, and people will get no reps. And if you're a douche and you get upset, then people stop having a good time. And people will look to you as the leader to set the standard. So if you can be positive, especially when things go wrong, then I think that carries weight. All
right. 257 last year. How many do you expect to have this year?
I've got 95 so far. I just counted them.
Yeah.
And I think that's just the tip of the iceberg. Last time we checked, we had 400 people on the books.
Wow.
So I'd like to say 300. I would love to say 400.
Go for it, dude.
I just need to beat Reykjavik.
Let's see. They were at, you were close, man. 279 last year, but I'm going to talk to her later this afternoon. And they're fairly competitive up there.
Every year, it's like this all the way to the end. But we just missed out last year. We were going for 5 in a row last year. It's really annoying.
I don't think we're doing you any favors by having an Open announcement there this year with 3 of the daughters.
No, ruining me.
Sorry, bro. Next year, maybe we'll come to Glasgow.
I would love that.
All right. Cool, bro. Thank you so much for your time and your advice. I think people are going to get a lot out of this.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Gavin. Take care.
Cheers, man.